One word. One hypnotist, Chris Jones. Chris Jones. One word. Entertainer Chris Jones joining us for the first of the One Word Chris Jones podcasts. Chris, before we start with the one word of the month, let me ask you this. Why one word? What is Chris Jones, One Word Chris Jones?
Growing up, I had a speech impediment, and I had to take lessons from like kindergarten until sixth grade. And I didn't understand syllables. I didn't understand that my name is actually, two words, Christopher Jones. And I introduced myself to a teacher, and she said, "Oh, Chris Jones?" like kind of mocking me. And I was like, "Yeah, Chris Jones." And, I talk too fast to kind of overcompensate to this day. And I thought it would be pretty cool if I embrace that quote-unquote disability. So I'm Chris Jones, one word.
One word, story. Chris Jones. Got it. So hypnotistchrisjones.com if you want to find out more about Chris. Chris is the hypnotist that actually got Howie Mandel to shake hands on America's Got Talent. Was that the big point in your life, or the biggest point to that point in your life?
That was, without a doubt, the highlight at that point, because it was national TV. I think it had, oh my gosh, before they took one down, it had 100 million views, which was insane. I mean, there's some 360 million people in America. So I was like, how did 100 million views get hit? A lot of people watched it again and again, but I got views from all over the world. People in India, Saudi Arabia, they're all contacting me, checking out what I do. And I thought that was pretty darn cool. So that was a fun day.
Did it help Chris Jones's career?
Absolutely. Like, I got to do some cool things. Like, I did a halftime show for the Lakers and the Utah Jazz. I got to go to some private parties. I got to meet Chance the Rapper and David Blaine, the magician. And I performed for Eminem and his daughter, like the rapper Eminem, not the candy. It's been fun. I mean, I might have made $150 directly from being on America's Got Talent, but it definitely opened up some doors. I'm still grateful.
Well, I'm a podcaster. $150 is $150, Chris.
It's true. Money is money.
Well, the podcast is called One Word with Chris Jones. Let's do the one word. The one word I'm thinking about right now is change. How is Chris Jones's life changing?
Well, I'm very fortunate. I recently got engaged.
Congrats.
Beautiful young lady. Thank you. And I love her a lot. I'm excited to have a journey with her. I'm moving into a little bit of TV. I actually filmed a TV show with John Cena as the executive producer. And I hypnotize people not to recognize their favorite celebrities. It's going to be on Double Take, or it's on Facebook Watch. It's called Double Take. And I just meet people who love a celebrity. And then from behind the scenes, celebrity is watching me interact with this person. I very discreetly hypnotize them. And then we bring in the celebrity, and they don't recognize the person they love the most in the world. So we film with John Cena, Pamela Anderson, Steve-O from Jackass, Adam Rapon, the Olympic ice skater and winner of Dancing with the Stars, and Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta. So 6 episodes have been filmed so far. They're all going to drop sometime late October. I'm very excited for this stuff. And who knows what's happening after that. Like, I threatened to retire and just teach. I think about doing some more acting. We'll see, one step at a time.
Well, you mentioned the retire and go to teaching. I saw that you'd posted that on Facebook, and honestly, I thought to myself, this guy could be the game changer when it comes as a teacher. Hell yeah!
Oh, thank you. Well, I had some really great teachers. In 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I was still talking with a speech impediment. I was pretty chubby. I didn't have much self-esteem, and a teacher named Mr. Huff really spoke to me. And I went to a predominantly black private school in Chicago, but the fact that there was this white man who cared about us and saw us as his equal, it just spoke to me somehow as a 6th, 7th, 8th grader. And he taught English, and not just teaching English. Like, he brought us a motherboard and said, let's take this apart. He had us play a Star Wars video game and said, now let's keep playing this. Someone made the characters. Someone wrote the book. Someone created, this is job. Like, this could be your job. You could get a job testing this game. And it wasn't just read this book. It was get your hands into this. Like, whatever you want to do, you can find a way to enjoy that. So I would like to be like a Mr. Huff.
Do you think that your career has allowed you to become like Mr. Huff, to become a teacher, if you will? I know that you're a philanthropist. Not only are you a hypnotist, but you're also a philanthropist, which I think is really cool. But have you kind of modeled yourself after Mr. Huff and some of the other teachers that you may have had?
Without a doubt, I hope so. I'll do these college shows because that's predominantly what I do, colleges and high school, and I'm at 120 colleges a year. And you never know what's going to happen. So I'll be at the end of my show, and I'll say, all right, guys, good night. And I'll have someone, and this happened, just swear out something profane and sexual. And I will get really upset. And it happened at a college in Wisconsin that someone said something that maybe a president had said about grabbing a woman by the vagina. And I went off. I was screaming into a microphone like your peers are women. Like, do you have any idea what it must be like to be a woman on a college campus and thinking this behavior is acceptable? Like, and then I calmed down. I was like, I'm sure you're a good person, whoever you are who said that, because it was a dark theater. Mm-hmm. But that's unacceptable. Like, and then I just I couldn't get my focus back. I was just walking back and forth, steaming and angry. And to the school's credit, people said, hey, I'm really glad you said that. I'm really thankful you said that. And, like, I'm sorry about that jerk. We don't know who he is. And that guy emailed me anonymously and said, hey, I was out of line. I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm sorry I went off on you too. I get it. It's popular. It's in the media. But it doesn't excuse that behavior, that talk.
Let me ask this question then, based on that. Could that guy have been hypnotized and said that without knowing that he said it?
Not at my show, just because
Okay.
I don't make people say things. It's a great question. Like, it could be spun on, the hypnotist made him do it. You can't make anyone do anything with hypnosis they wouldn't do in a normal mindset. So people say, well, you could hypnotize someone to kill someone. No, but I cannot perform for the troops because some of them have security clearance and they have training with weapons and they're taught to move without thinking,
Mm-hmm.
So just following direct orders. So I can't perform for Air Force, Navy, Marines, etc.
Because it's second.
Because they literally
it's the training that they went through.
Yep, I could say punch that guy in the face, and that guy would be asleep on the floor real fast.
Really?
TKO'd.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, does it scare you to have that power?
Only when I think about training other people. There's a lot of money in training people hypnosis for business sales or real estate, and that's the only thing that scares me a little bit is someone misusing the gift of influence. And I mean, it does happen all the time. We don't call it hypnosis, but there is a gift when you can influence people.
Right. Now, do you use that influence when you're buying a car or when you're trying to book a hotel room or something like that?
Not for those things. No, I've had a difficult time. Like today I went to the bank and there's so much red tape and they want you to sign these forms and show your last income the last 5 years. It's a pain in the butt. But simple things like, I don't know, trying to make someone smile if they look like they're having a bad day. Like, I'll be an elevator friend for 30 seconds. While we're in an elevator, I'll be very funny and maybe charming. And I just hope while I'm in an elevator, quote unquote, with someone, they walk away, they leave the elevator feeling better. Mm-hmm. So I cross them on the street and I say, oh, you dropped your smile. And they'll look down and they'll be like, oh, that's pretty good.
Right.
And it's not flirtatious. It's like, hey, oh, did you drop your smile?
What's an uncomfortable situation that you've been in because you're who you are?
Oh, well, geez, I'm all of it. I'm so awkward. Like, I like to be calm and cool, but when I'm not on stage, I really have to think about life. On stage, it's kind of autopilot. I'm flexible. In real life, I'll just say the wrong thing, especially my fiance. And she'll say, Chris, you don't think before you talk, do you? Or she'll kiss me so I'll stop talking, which is very sweet. She's really good at that. She's like, let's kiss because you're talking.
Did you hypnotize her into that?
Oh, right. It's like, baby, if I'm saying things I shouldn't, you just walk in and kiss me. Don't say anything. People just go, oh, that's sweet. She loves him. I'm like, she does, but
she loves her silence, and she loves his silence better.
Yeah.
Dream Big Dreams is on your website. What do you mean by Dream Big Dreams?
I got to meet Senator Barack Obama. My dad is a professional photographer, and I was in college, and I met the senator. And I thought he was nice. I thought he was cool. My dad's like, take a photo with him. I was like, I don't want to bother the man. And he's like, no, I'll take a photo. So I took a photo. He autographed my photo, Christopher, Dream Big Dreams. And I felt very special. And I was like, all right, he's telling me to, shoot for the stars. And then he became the president. And then after he became the president, I realized that he signs almost every autograph for young people, Dream Big Dreams. That's his message. And I had no idea he'd be the president. My dad, 70 years old, he's like, I never thought I would see a black president, not in my lifetime. So I don't know when Barack came up with the idea that he could do this, but he had a dream, and he dreamt it, and it became reality.
Do you think that go ahead.
I was just thinking, another thing, at my college shows, this is a class of 2022, like they'll graduate in 2022. And I say, I graduated in 2008. When I was in college, we didn't have gay marriage, lesbian marriage. Like, that was unacceptable. People were saying it would destroy the economy, et cetera, et cetera. And then when my dad was in college, interracial marriage was not protected by the Constitution. So, I mean, it's just one generation to another. Like, this generation is like, of course there's gay marriage. Why would there not be gay marriage? But in other countries, it's illegal to be gay. Like, you could be put to death for being gay. So, yes, we argue in America about, taxes and, like, the Me Too movement and everything. And is global warming even an issue? We have all these concerns. But just look back at history. Interracial marriage did not destroy the country. Gay marriage did not destroy the economy. I'm not saying we have to be super liberal. I'm just saying you can meet people in the middle.
Chris, is there hope for the future?
I think so. I mean, I don't want to wish poorly on people, but I do like to imagine that the White House would get hit by a storm and global warming would hit the White House and it would end up in underwater because Secret Service can't shoot at a hurricane, people are going to be in a situation where they're going to say, okay, we can't get homeowners insurance, we can't get flooding insurance because everything's going to be underwater in the next 4 or 5 years. We're going to have to start making some changes right now. I think there's hope. And again, not trying to be political, but people can tell when the president is lying. One very fast example just came up is, I believe it's a senator Elizabeth Warren, who claimed to be Native American. And Trump said, if she does a DNA test, I will donate $1 million to the charity of her choice. And then she 100% did the DNA test. And he's like, oh, who cares? Like, if you're going to call a woman Pocahontas to disrespect her, and then she calls you on your bluff and takes the DNA test, and you say, oh, I never said that. No, we know you said these things. I don't know. I just don't, like, people ask, like, how can the president keep lying about things? And I'm like, well, maybe he's not being sued enough. I just don't know.
Have you started building your ark?
My ark?
Yeah.
Oh, for the flood. Well, that's the other thing. Like, some people who claim to be conservative, like, and I love people. Mr. Rogers was a Republican. He was fantastic, right? I'm not getting down on Republicans or conservative people, but if you follow the Bible, I don't know how you can't believe in global warming when the Bible says the earth is going to be destroyed by fire. Like, if you're like, yeah, I love the Bible, I love guns, and I love the Bible. All right. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And God said we were so bad, he drowned the world. And he said, I'm not going to drown it next time. I'm going to put it on fire. Like, I don't understand how people don't believe that we could end this earth with fire.
That'd be hell on earth, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But again, on the topic of philosophy and religion, I think 100% hell on earth is fire on earth, but hell in your soul is when you're not looking out for your sister, your brother, when you're not looking out for people in your circles. That's the real hell.
That's a good message to end on. Chris Jones, one word. How do we find you?
You can find me on social media. It's Facebook, Chris Jones. There's no space, CHRESJONES, or hypnotistchrisjones.com.
Find entertainer and hypnotist Chris Jones at hypnotistchrisjones.com. The One Word Chris Jones Podcast, a podcast for higher production.